Can you guys hear me?
There we go.
Yes.
Hi guys. Hi guys, and welcome to #SoccerKalitzStyle, the show that brings you all the latest in local and international football. Today we're going to be previewing or doing the player ratings on a very underwhelming game. I didn't actually want to do this player ratings on such a dull game, but yeah, it has to be done. With me, I have some very esteemed guests. First of all, we have our resident professional and expert, Mr. Roderick Fransman, and also a partner in SoccerKalitzStyle. Hi, Roderick.
Hi, guys. Good to be back. I'm feeling,
It's nice
I
to
feel
have
that
you, man.
I'm back at home. Thank you.
It's nice to have you. Listen, and then we also have our very good friend, all the way from London, UK, Mr. Gunner Since 69. Hi, man. How are you? Can you please tell the fans of SoccerKalitzStyle
Not that one.
who you are, what your show is about, and yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure. Hi guys, thanks again for having me on the show. Really, it's a privilege to be here talking to you guys. Not on the best of occasions, but nonetheless, hopefully after this video we can, smile a little bit more and maybe try and get the brighter side of the game out. Yeah, I'm on. You can find me on YouTube at Gunner Since 96. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Gunner Since 96. What I aim to do is to release a piece of content every single day, an Arsenal piece of content. So I'll be releasing very shortly a post-match reaction video where I give my reaction on today's game. And yeah, if you wanna chat with me or message me or whatever, you can find me on Twitter. I'm a very I like to see myself as a nice, approachable person. So don't be afraid if you want to chat to me.
Cool, man. Thank you very much, Gunnison 69. And then we have our very last, but not the least guest, the man with the heart of gold and with the very opinionated mind, Mr. That Gooner Guy. Hi, Mo. How are you, man? Mo, are you there? Okay. Listen, guys. While Mo is sorting that out, I also noticed that the same problem occurred during the watch along. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Today we are here to discuss the game against Burnley and Arsenal, which we are all Arsenal fans and we are very disappointed in the performance. I could just see from the guys' reactions that this was one of those games that I wouldn't have liked to watch. So it was good that I didn't watch it. So thank you guys for being here and sharing with me the player ratings. First of all, in goal we had who?
Leno.
69?
Yeah, we had Leno in goal.
Bert Leno. So I'm gonna start off with you, Farhan. What would you give Bert for his performance?
It's a difficult game to rate any of the players because they were a shadow of themselves today. Really, the team were playing. They were different human beings today. The players that we know what they're capable of, players like Leno, players like David Luiz, Xhaxa, were a shadow of themselves. Let's talk about Leno to start off with. Personally, I'm going to give Leno I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. And I'll tell you why. I think Leno made some really good saves this game. He saved us from potentially losing all points, let alone the one that we got. People were talking about the mistake that was potentially caused by Leno in the goal that we conceded. I tend to disagree. And I tend to disagree because the style of football that Arsenal have been playing this season under Arteta is the style of football where we play from the back. If you break down tactically how Arsenal like to play from the back, they like to get David Luiz and Mari, both of the central defenders, to move apart and allow Xhaxa to come into the middle. That way we've got enough bodies to get the ball to play from the back and progress it forward. So Leno and Xhaxa were doing exactly what they should have been doing. the way that we were passing the ball in that first half was ridiculous for me. It was something which was unbelievable. I couldn't understand why Arsenal were so comfortably passing the ball around at the back when they were only 1-0 up and when Burnley were playing a high line. I'll give Leno a 6 out of 5 because he made some crucial saves. I don't think it was his fault for the lead up of the goal that we conceded. I think every single man on that pitch were to blame for that goal, because if we're not playing in such a comfortable fashion, if we're not passing the ball around in first gear and just, it was as if we were 3-0 up. But because, like I said, of the sheer arrogance of the way that they were playing, that goal was always going to come one way or another. Granit Xhaka, and by the way, can I just mention that we're never going to get anywhere as a club. We're never going to move up the table. We're never going to get Champions League football. We're never going to be taken seriously unless we have players like David Luiz. And I'm going to say it as frankly as possible. I have love and respect for every Arsenal player, but as long as we have players like David Luiz and Granit Xhaka at the football club, Arsenal are never going to move forward. And that goal epitomized it. That goal showed us the difference in quality which is missing at this club. But my short answer, I know I went on a little bit of a rant, and I think I need to go on a little bit because I'm so frustrated. But 6 out of 5, 6.5 for me for Leno.
Okay, thank you very much, Roderick. Before we go to you, I would just like to introduce Brandon also to the show. He joined us a bit late. Brandon, how are you, man?
How's it, guys? I'm fine. How you doing?
Good.
Good, man.
What's up?
No, we're good. Listen, guys, I just have to introduce each other because this is the first time that we're all meeting. So, Brandon, this is Gunner Since 69 from London, UK. Also a very big Arsenal fan, and also has his own show, Gunner Since 69, with a huge following in London. So it's a privilege for us to have a guy of his stature on the show. Gunner Since 69, that is Brandon. That is Brandon from Durban. He's a huge Manchester United fan. So what do you make of that, man? So
I respect every fan, you know what I'm saying, unless they're Tottenham fans. But, nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Listen, guys, as you will see the comment that's popping up now, That Gooner Guy apologizes because I think it's some. But Brandon, you also in Durban?
Yeah. No. Right now I'm not in Durban, bro.
Are you not now? Okay, cool.
No, not
All right,
now.
because Mo is having some serious issues, my man. But let's head straight to it, Brandon. We were discussing Leno, so you got here just in time. Roderick, would you agree with Gunner Since 69 6 for Leno?
To be honest, analyzing the game, like the Gooner guys, the Gunner Since 69 said, the way Arsenal plays, we play out from the back, and that's the main reason why we also have been performing how we perform, because that's the Arteta way. So, but Leno, I'm gonna give him a 5 because I think there was a couple of saves. There was this one big volley outside the box. We also made a huge save, but normally we play out of the back. And I, as a fan, I just felt like it will be very uncommon for him to just pass the ball forward, or if he's in that position where he got the ball, because that's not the way we play. So we're rather gonna push the ball from the back to the front or to the midfield. But yeah, it was just a mistake, and as a Gunner fan, I just felt like he was supposed to be ready on his line, as well as Xhaxa was making the pass. And remember, granted, Xhaxa is a left-footed player, so he was passing the ball on his right-hand side. So it was something that he didn't expect. So it was just hitting the player, and it went in the back of the net. But Leno was on holiday actually today. There was no real action, no shots from Burnley. So Burnley were a bit more defensive than attacking in the game. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Leno was average. A five. I think it's fair enough. Besides that, yeah, overall performance, he did well, but it was just that one mistake that cost us.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you very much. The next guy, which I'm very surprised, actually got the start. Kalim Chambers. Brandon, how do you rate Kalim Chambers?
No, that boy should not be at your club. What are you doing? If you're serious about football, Callum Chambers should not be there. I saw your starting lineup. He started. I don't know why. Maybe you've got some injuries or fatigue. But that guy should not be starting for you. If you're a serious club that wants to achieve top 4, he should not be starting. And I agree with Gunner Since 96. There is some players there that should not be at Arsenal. If you're really serious, Granit Xhaka is one of them. What does that guy do good? I don't know. When I watch him, he can't defend as a midfielder. He can't defend as a CDM. Then on the other side of the midfield, you got, okay, can he attack? No, he can't attack very well. He can't pass the ball fantastically. He can pass to get him by, but he can't pass the ball of a Paul Pogba's level or even of a Jorginho's level. So what can that guy do well? So there's certain players that you'll have at your team, such as Chambers, that should not be there if you're serious.
Okay, Gunner Since 69. Your rating on Kalim Chambers and his match.
I feel a little bit sorry for Callum Chambers because before his injury in 2019 against, I don't know if it was Chelsea or whoever it was, he was showing great promise. And we often forget as a fan base when a player gets injured so long ago, we often forget the performances that they put in. But I can specifically remember Kalim Chambers really improving after one game at a time, and he almost reminds me of this is going to irritate you a little bit, Brandon, but almost as a Luke Shaw, where Luke Shaw throughout the last season has improved. Yeah, I imagine saying it like this because Luke Shaw has
Sorry, Gunner Since 69. Remember, this is not a banter show. We're only doing player ratings, guys. Only doing player ratings. Luke Shaw, you were saying.
Yeah, sorry. The point that I wanted to make was the only reason why I make the comparison is because Luke Shaw at United wasn't the Luke Shaw that he is this season. He's improved as the seasons have gone by. His game has gotten better. And I feel sorry for Callum Chambers because at the time when he got injured, he was making those steps. He was getting better. But he's right. So in order to get top 4, we can't have players like Callum Chambers starting for us game in, game out. But in this game specifically, when he's come back from a long-term injury, an ACL injury, which is so difficult to come back from, Hector Bellerin had a similar type of injury, and we haven't seen the same Bellerin since. But Chambers today put in a good few balls in the box, defended relatively well. His attacking game was decent as well. There were bright moments. But ultimately, with a draw and with the kind of opportunities that we had and not being able to take them properly, I'm going to have to give Chambers a 5 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Okay, cool, man. Listen, Mo gave, just to give you a quick insight on what Mo said, he gave Callum Chambers a 7. He also gave Leno a 7 because Leno did save us in the second half, apparently. I wouldn't know. But yeah, and Chambers played well today. So that Gooner Guy is actually, listen, man, that Gooner Guy, I know you're listening now. You're very positive. This is quite positive scores. I didn't expect this. I was expecting 2s and 3s. So big up for you, man. Brandon, there's a little jibe for you also. Just check the comments. He said, Brandon, Chambers, what did he say?
He's better than Jones.
Chambers is
Everyone's
better
better than Jones, bro.
Mr. Gunner Since 69, moving forward, who did we have in partnership? Center back.
So in the middle, we had David Luiz and Mari. I'll start off with David Luiz. I think David Luiz was piss poor. He was very, very bad. David Luiz, for the most part this season, has done okay at the back. He's defended pretty well. He has been one of the most reliable centre backs at Arsenal, hands down. Especially when you compare the type of quality, the lack of quality we've got at the back there. He's been good. But this game, it was an okay defensive display, but it was a very, very poor attacking display and ball playing display. in the second half, I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it was Arteta's decision or whether the players unanimously decided. But all of a sudden, in the second half, they came out. The game plan completely changed, and they started playing long balls. Every time they got the ball, it was long balls. And it was as if we were trying to play Burnley's game against them. And I couldn't for the life of me understand why the players started to do that. And I realized there was a pattern. Every time that Burnley hoofed the ball into our box, Luiz would pick it up and then hoof it back again. It was like a game of football tennis, with the ball going from one end of the pitch to the other and then vice versa. I was really disappointed with Luiz's display in playing the ball forward, even in some cases too slow, trying to get the ball up the pitch, too slow, making a decision where he wanted to pass. So bearing that in mind, I'm going to give Luiz a 2 because it was just, for me, I think that mentality, the way that he was playing football, cost us winning the game.
Okay. Man, I would definitely agree. Listen, I don't know if David Luiz is whatever he is, but he's definitely a liability. He's a liability. Mr. Roderick, in partnership with David Luiz, who did we have, Mr. Gunner?
Pablo Mari and Luiz. First of all, Derek, I wanted to say in terms of Kalim Chambers coming back, I was happy to see him on the sheet because I think he deserves to have play time because, you know, as Arsenal Football Club, when it comes to the teams that's below relegation, they don't take them so serious until these teams rock up on the day and start playing well. Then they want to try and push their players in. So Callum Chambers for me was okay, but I think there's a lack of pace because I think the guy from Burnley, I'm not too sure if it's McNeil or Wood, every time they were going on the wing, he couldn't cope with the pace. So they always just, there was a cross from towards, I'm not too sure what this English player's name is, but he's got a funny Russian last name, but he was kicking, that's correct, he was kicking the ball across the pitch and that player got to the ball. So I would rather play Cedric in that position. I'm not too sure why I wasn't playing also today. Or Hector Bellerin. I'm not a big fan of Bellerin as well, but one of those two players I would have been likelier to start on that side. But I would say Chambers was average. I will give him a 6 as well. In terms of David Luiz and Pablo Mari, the only way we're going to be better this season in terms of defense is when you have a partnership at the back. And I think Arteta is rotating every single game. He's rotating the centre backs, which I think is a problem because you either have two solid defenders, guys that can build a partnership. And I've been seeing this with Rob Holding and Pablo Mari in the Europa games as well as in the league. When they play together, it is solid at the back. I was even a bit disgusted by David Luiz. There was a time in the game where they passed him the ball and he was walking and passing the ball like there was no energy. I mean, you need a defender that can go up and go high up on the pitch as well. He must have a vision. Also, he's just giving long balls and he's just walking on the pitch. I mean, if you are a player with that type of experience, you've been playing in this league for how long? To see that on a pitch, especially as a fan, it frustrates you. It makes you so angry. So for me, I'm going to give Luiz a 1. I think he was just not there today at all. There was no leadership whatsoever. I'm not a big fan of him, and I'm sorry if all the Arsenal fans must hear this. I've never been a big fan of any Chelsea players going to Arsenal. So yeah, Luiz for me is a 1. Pablo Mari, I must say, he was coping with the high balls, a lot of high balls. He was winning position as well, so I'm going to give him a 6. But for me, that combination, it's not working at the moment. So yeah, that's my analysis on the two players.
Okay, cool. What did we have in left back?
Kieran Tierney.
Oh. Brandon, let's start with you before I ask Mr. Gunner Since 69 because I see that Gooner Guy still has some issues. Brandon, Kieran Tierney, I know you didn't watch the game or whatever, but how do you rate Kieran Tierney as a player for Arsenal? Would you take him at Manchester United?
He's top. I like him a lot. I liked him when he was in Scotland. Top left back. He can get up and down. His delivery is very good. He's a top left back. It's difficult to say you'll take him at United. You'll have to compete with Luke Shaw, who is currently very, very, very good. But definitely I'll take him at United, you know. He's a top player. I've always rated him. Those are the type of players you should be having.
Yes.
Yeah, you could see he is just that type of leader figure in the team. He takes things by the scuff, and then you could see he's the one that moves or wants to move Arsenal forward. Besides the other players. But thank you, Brendan, for that honest opinion on Kieran Tierney. So, Mr. Gunner 69, what point would you give Kieran Tierney for his game today?
Look, I think when Arsenal were going forward and they were attacking, one of the strongest attacking outlets were down that left-hand side. Tierney had a lot to play in that movement. So did Aubameyang. So did Willian as well, actually. You know, in the first half, Willian and Tierney actually had a pretty good link-up. I appreciate Tierney as a footballer, first and foremost. I think Kieran Tierney is one of the very few old-school traditional footballers where they're not bothered about looking good, looking fancy, looking slick. They're good at doing their jobs. They want to do their jobs to the best of their abilities, and Kieran Tierney is one of those guys. Every single game, they give it absolutely 110%, and they will give grit, determination, and a bit of passion as well, which is, you know, something you don't associate with most footballers. Most footballers are too busy, you know, worrying whether they make the right pass or not, or, you know, it's all about them. And Kieran Tierney is very much of a team player. I'm going to give his performance today a 6.5. I think this was the first game where Kieran Tierney was stooping down to the same level as everyone else. Normally, it's Tierney and Xhaxa that stand up and that outperform everyone else, and that will carry the team forward. But there's always going to come a time where you're not going to be able to rely on these players to carry you forward. Ultimately, it's a game of 11 players where you need to work together in order to get the victory and the goals. It kind of worried me a little bit today that we saw the first time I saw Kieran Tierney being influenced by the shoddy performance that we saw, and it affecting his performance a little bit as well. Like I said, I didn't see anyone trying to get out of first gear, trying to push into the second and slowly get into the third. I heard one of the commentators say after the match, if this was a Man City side that was 1-0 up after 5 minutes, Burnley would have been eaten alive. It would have been a 4-5-0 scoreline, and that's ultimately the difference between Arsenal and Man City, the gulf in quality and the mentality and the mindset to try and finish teams off. And like I said, an excellent player like Tierney, I just worry that he's going to seep into these types of bad habits, not giving 100% energy throughout the 90 minutes.
Cool, man. Thank you very much. Let's just hear what that Gooner guy has to say. I don't like Luiz at all, but in this game, I think he did well with Mari. Mari carries that back line with him, and Gabriel will make a good partnership. Would you agree with the comment there, Mr. Gunner Since 69? Will Mari and Gabriel be the future of Arsenal?
I think Mari has the potential to be a very good centre-back. Every time I've watched Mari this season, there's a calming presence about him. He gives off an aura where he makes the defensive line look very comfortable and sure of themselves. Whether he can partner Gabriel, we're going to have to see. One of the problems that Arteta's got right now is he doesn't have a solid centre-back partnership. He's alternating a bit too much for my liking, especially at the back. With centre-backs, you want two centre-backs starting and playing together week in, week out to get a good relationship with each other so that both players can read each other's games. And then once you've solidified that relationship, then you start looking at whether they're individually good enough to start week in, week out at the back. But like I said, both individual players are really good. It's just whether they can play together or not, because you can have two world-class defenders, and if they're not on the same page, if they don't know when to move up the pitch or when to sit back together, hold that line together, then you're going to have a disastrous partnership.
Yeah, man. Roderick, who did we have in midfield?
We had Odegaard, Thomas Partey, and Xhaxa.
So, Granit Xhaka, what would you give him?
0. Poor.
Wow.
Poor.
What?
You know the thing why I can't rate Xhaxa, because we know what we can expect on an off day with Granit Xhaxa. It's very obvious with Granit Xhaxa. He's the player. You know, once he made a mistake, the next mistake is going to follow. So it happened too many times during the course of the season. I don't understand why Arteta is playing him every single game, but Granit Xhaka will only turn up on a game where he perhaps scores a free kick, or on the day will make great passes when he feels like it. But today he was just poor for me. The only problem that we have currently in the midfield with Granit Xhaka is that back passes. In order to push up front, you have great players in front of you. You must attack. You must play forward. You can't always pass the ball to the back or to the defenders. He always used to seem to just pass the ball back, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see a solid midfield player that can create, that can make those nice passes. I think during the course of the season, there's probably only 2 or 3 games where he made some beautiful passes to Pepe or to Willian or so. But in this game, he was lying very deep. I thought maybe Partey was supposed to take that position, or Partey was definitely playing better. But for me, Granit Xhaka was just poor, and obviously with a mistake as well. Something that I did expect. If it's not coming from Xhaka, it will definitely come from Luiz. So for me, very poor, to be honest.
0. Brandon, Thomas Partey. What do you make of him as a signing? He hasn't been too much in the limelight. He gets here and there game. He doesn't finish games. What do you, as a Manchester United fan and a football lover, make of Thomas Partey as a player?
As the reason he doesn't finish games because of his fitness, because I know he is injury prone and he got injured this season for you. Is it because of his fitness?
Yeah, partly to do with fitness, but he just picks up little niggles. So he picked up one at the beginning of the season, and then they rushed him to play against Tottenham, and then he picked up the same injury again. So he's just settling in. I think with a new player, you have to give them at least 6 months to really settle into a new country, new environment, new tempo of the league as well. Yeah.
Thomas Partey, the signing. There were a couple of signings that were made in recent times where I was envious of you, because we were linked with the same people. Number 1 was Kieran Tierney. As I said, I followed him in Scotland. Top left back. So when you signed him, I was angry, especially for the price you paid for him, bargain. And then the next one was Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey is a top-class defensive midfielder. Yes. He's been doing it on the biggest stages for Atleti. Top class, I'll even say world class, one of the best holding midfielders. When he's fit, top class. I'll take him at United right now. We playing with Scott McTominay and Fred and Matic. I mean, they can't lace Thomas Partey's boots. When I watch Thomas Partey even playing for York, on the ball, he's so good. He's so good on the ball. Composed, calm, fantastic signing. I like him. You'll need to build around him. You'll need to get someone next to him, not Xhaxa. Get someone top class next to him and sort such as number 10. Whether it's Odegaard, I like Odegaard also, but sort that out.
El Neni.
No. You're serious? El Neni? Oh,
no one talks about that Muhammad El Neni. They only talk about Muhammad Salah. Why not about Muhammad El Neni?
And rightly so. Salah's a baller. Salah's world class. El Neni is not good enough to be starting for you. Let's be honest.
I would have rather started El Neni. Yes.
No, I said I'm just pulling your leg. I don't rate El Neni. I give El Neni, if he was a FIFA player, I would say his attributes were about 61%. I would give him a 61. Seriously. So just to move forward, Gunner Since 69, what would you give Thomas Partey, Granit Xhaka, and Martin Odegaard?
Okay, I'll try and keep this a little bit short. But you know, Thomas Partey for me epitomizes what an all-round midfielder should be and should be doing at all times. He is the perfect example of what a modern European central midfielder should be doing. He's a box-to-box. He knows how to defend. He knows how to play the ball forward, and he knows how to strike a ball as well. But the one thing I love about Thomas Partey is his ability to control the midfield. He sets the tempo. He sets the pace. When Arsenal play well, he will control that style of football that Arsenal play. And in the first half, certainly, he was brilliant. The first goal when we scored was all done by Thomas Partey. He got the ball off the back. And something that Arteta tried to implement, and he said it at the very beginning when he took over at Arsenal, the style of football I want Arsenal to play is from the back, and I want them to beat the first man and then to make the pass. He did exactly that. He beat the first man back in defence. He played a lovely 1-2 with Xhaka, played a lovely slicing ball forward to, I don't know whether it was Willian. Yeah, played it through to Willian, and then Willian played it to Aubameyang, and Aubameyang gets in the back. As the game went on, and I feel sorry, and I tweeted this on Twitter, I felt sorry for Partey because you could tell that there isn't enough quality on the pitch for Partey to get the best out of Partey, because some of the ideas and some of the things that he wants to do on the pitch, the players around him can't get on the same page. There is a disconnect. Granit Xhaka performs well when he's playing alongside Partey. We've seen that. There is a decent player in there, no doubt. But in order to get to the next quality, I mean, guys, we have to remember we drew to Burnley today. We are a mid-table team right now competing against another mid-table team. And at the end of the 90 minutes, we drew 1-1. That says everything to me, to know that Granit Xhaka is not the right person to play alongside Partey. Arsenal's problems aren't up front. We have some great attacking players. Aubameyang up front. Odegaard. Emile Smith-Rowe. Lacazette. Thomas Partey. Pepe, you bring a few world-class players. Arsenal only missing 3 or 4 top-notch quality players. Get someone to play alongside Thomas Partey. You've completed the midfield. Get another world-class centre-back in to play alongside Gabriel. Hopefully, if Saliba comes back and he's the man, maybe get a right-back in who can play as good as Lamptey, someone like that. And Arsenal have an all-rounded, very good squad. Today, Partey slipped up a little bit because everyone around him wasn't they weren't correlating with what he was trying to do. I'm going to give Thomas Partey a 6.5. I'm going to give Martin Odegaard a 6.5, and Granit Xhaka for me, he's going to get a 2 or a 3. I was surprised that Odegaard came off actually as early on as he did, because I felt like he was one of our brightest attacking players going forward. But having said that, to bring on Lacazette, you can't complain, because you're going to get with Lacazette, and you did change the tempo of the game a little bit. You got all the attacking players. I condensed the pitch a little bit, and then when Pepe came on, the chances finally started to come with Pepe linking up with Lacazette, etc., etc. Yeah, but those are my scores for those 3 players.
Thanks, Pavan. That Gooner guy said Xhaka must get 1 billion zeros. The man must go. So, yeah.
Yes.
Let me hear what he said about Partey. He said Partey, man of the match, 8. He controlled that midfield. Would you all agree with that, the guys that watched the game?
Yes. Derek, I'm going to say that Partey was like the Gunner Since 96 said. Partey was there. He was playing well, but there wasn't that partnership with him that could have given him that freedom to do the box-to-box things. Like, there has been a few occasions where he took chances to score actually outside the box. I think there was like 2 chances. He even tried to do long-range shots. So yeah, the opportunities were there, and Partey looked solid, man. But I mean, if we can only get the full fitted Partey for this squad, then definitely that's why it's going to take a while for him to gel in with the league and with the pace and with the intensity that they're playing in the league. So definitely one of the best players in the midfield for me. Martin Odegaard, I was a bit, how can I say, I was a bit angry with Arteta taking him off because he was creating nice passes and he was making those beautiful runs as well. You could feel the energy. It was very similar to Emil Smith-Rowe, but he's definitely a quality player for me, Odegaard. But yeah, Partey gets a 7 from me. Odegaard gets also 7. I already said Xhaxa is a 0, but yeah, Partey just needs more time and better quality next to him or in front of him.
Brandon, would you like to reply on that Gooner Guy's post? Because he's listening to you right now.
Yeah, well, no, I'll keep quiet. Thomas Partey keeps me quiet.
You're still quiet. You're still quiet.
Thomas Partey keeps me quiet. He's top class. There's nothing I can say. I'd love him at United.
Okay. El Nini 61, and then Odegaard. Odegaard gets a 5 from that Gooner Guy, which is very surprising to me. Up front we had, I think, Aubameyang. We had Willian, and we had who on the right? Saka. Pepe.
Saka.
Yeah.
Saka and Pepe.
Okay. Gunner Since 69. Let's start with you. What would you give Saka?
Saka for me had a bit of a frustrating game. In the first half, he was through on goal on 3 different occasions. He didn't take it. You know, when we talk about Saka, right, we need to understand one thing. This kid's 19 years old, and he's carried this team throughout the last 3 or 4 months. It's ridiculous that the fan base have such high expectations on a kid. And I knew this day was going to come eventually where he was not going to have the best game possible, but it's so harsh for fans to judge him on this performance or to even throw any sort of criticism. He is still developing as a player. He's still growing. When you talk about Bukayo Saka, you're talking about the creme de la creme of the Premier League. He is the top of the youngsters, in my opinion. When we're talking about Mason Greenwood, Phil Foden, and Bukayo Saka, there's one winner for me, and that's Bukayo Saka. He is on his way to greatness if he can keep his head down, continue to focus, and not let the performances like today bring him down. And I think he has it in him to do that. Bukayo Saka for me gets I would say a 7. I think he had a bright game where he was involved in attacking moments. Unfortunately, he wasn't clinical enough. And this is the immature side of Saka, where he's still learning. He still needs these experiences to know what to do in the right spaces at the right time. And without those experiences, he's never going to know when to take the first touch, how to take it, you know, when's the right moment to have a shot. He had a shot in the first half that almost went in. Maybe if he went near post, he would have scored. He knows that now. He knows from every game that he plays, he's going to know what to do in what moment. But he picked up a yellow card. I was surprised that Willian came off instead of Saka. I thought Arteta might have sacrificed Saka because it was close. It looked as if he was going to pick up a second yellow with the type of tackles that he was putting in. And it was very unlike Saka as well. You don't associate Saka to be the aggressor. You know, you don't see him as the type of guy to put in fouls and put in tackles, be a little bit rough. But it was refreshing to see. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I think that's fair. He was one of our brightest players going forward.
Okay, cool, man. Roderick, what would you give Willian on the left-hand side?
First of all, I just hope that Troops TV is tuned in for this comment, because I know he's not a big Willian fan, but today I must say Willian has been brilliant. He's been solid. He's growing every single game. He's showing that he still has it in him. You can see that this guy's running all over the pitch nowadays. He's fighting for that position and he's trying to create, especially on the left-hand side where he cuts in and giving passes. But Willian has been, for me, better than the previous game against Leicester as well. The only problem was that he never created like a great pass in the box or so. He made some crosses, but also a few runs, and he defended well today. I'm very proud of him. But I'm gonna give him a 7 today because I think there's still one thing that he lacks, and that is just to go in the box and take your chances. We've seen this with Chelsea in many seasons, past seasons. Once he cuts in and he hits it on his favorite foot, he can definitely hit the near post or the far post. And that's what we want to see at Arsenal. We want to get that Willian back that we used to see season in and out at Chelsea. So yeah, a 7 for me. Saka, I just think there has been too many chances in this game. I think Aubameyang gave him so many chances as well. He created so many chances for him also to score, but he never took it. So yeah, today Saka wasn't really the player that we have seen week in and out. I also give him a 7.
Brandon, would you say that Willian, I'm only speaking about these past 2 games, would you say that he has progressed from where he was when he joined Arsenal?
Definitely. He has picked up form over these literally few games. Before that, he was poor. Very poor. People were questioning, why did you sign him? Why did you give him, I think, a 3-year contract, 32-year-old? He's going to be 33 this year, a 3-year contract, the wages is on. But he's picking up form, and as Roderick said, we know Willian got quality. At Chelsea, he proved it. He was a top player at Chelsea. So you all signed him on the basis that he could come and do the same thing. Let's hope he can get there, because you'll need to climb the table. So let's hope he can get there and he can help you climb that table, because the quality is there. I don't know what happened during the beginning of the season. Yes, he came to a new team, but it's the same league. So I don't know what happened, but let's hope he can kick on from these past few games and show his quality.
Yeah, Gunner Since 69, I see you are itching. To say something on Willian. What would your rating for him be?
I'm going to give Willian a 6. I think Willian is another player not another player. Willian is actually a unique case study. Willian is a player who Arsenal bought at the age of 32, offered him a 3-year contract at £250,000 a week. One of the most bizarre, ridiculous transfers. You know, I mean, when he was first introduced at Arsenal, I don't think the fans were as outraged as they recently are, because we know what Willian's capable of. But after the Fulham game, it was as if Arsenal had signed, I don't know, there isn't a player that comes
Sanchez.
Think about Javinho, you know, someone of that quality, and in the last few games he's been really impressive. It's been shadow himself. I think confidence has a lot to play into it, especially after the Benfica game where he single-handedly got us that second goal, slotted it into Tierney, and Tierney with a brilliant finish, and then continued that performance at Leicester, was fantastic against Leicester. And today as well, he was really bright. Like I said, he was linking up really well with Tierney on the left-hand side. He was often getting Saka involved in the second half, slotting balls in. And I think that's what Willian's really good at. He's really good at holding the ball up, allowing players to get to the right spaces, and then slotting those passes into them. And he's also been really well with his off-the-ball work as well. Really energetic, and like sorry, I forgot your name, Roderick's. Like Roderick's. Yeah, like Roderick said, his defensive game as well was impressive, and you don't really associate Willian with the type of player to put in energy and put in a shift. So yeah, having said that, you know, I'm going to give him a 6 because it wasn't enough to generate goals. There wasn't enough going down the left-hand side in the second half, especially. I think we were focusing on getting the ball fed down the right-hand side. So 6 from me.
Okay, then up front we had Aubameyang, Gunner Since 69. What did you give him?
Aubameyang was really alive and really impressive in the first half. He deserved the goal that he got. He could have got a second goal very soon after. Partey put in a lovely ball over the top. Aubameyang cut it down. The defender got the ball to it, got a foot to it, but Aubameyang was one-on-one on the goalkeeper, and I think he slotted it wide. But Aubameyang for me had a really energetic, and this is what frustrates me, because as good as Arsenal were going forward, we were so bad at the back that it was difficult for the guy up front to see the ball because we were so slow in releasing the ball from our defensive half. So it's a difficult one for me. Obviously, he got the goal. In the second half, there was a little bit more lacking of energy. Obviously, the boys had a different approach in how they wanted to play the game with the balls going over the top, every 60 seconds. So having said that, I don't blame necessarily Aubameyang for the result that we got. I think he was one of our brightest players. He looks really good compared to what he was looking like a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few weeks ago, the fans were outraged. What's going on with Aubameyang? He's got a new contract all of a sudden. We're not seeing the goals. I think he scored, 4 goals? No, he scored more than 4. I mean, 6 goals in 4 appearances, something like that. So I'm going to give Aubameyang a 7 out of 10 because I felt like had he seen the ball more, we could have seen more goals.
Okay, cool, man. Listen, that Gooner guy gave Xhaxa a 5 because Burnley man-marked him really, really hard. And like you said, Gunner Since 69 and Roderick, Xhaxa, he has credit in the bank, so he can have a poor game like this. We won't be judging the boy on a game like this because we know this is Burnley. This is what they do. You don't actually know what they do, but they do it. You see? Yeah, that's the thing. You don't actually know what they do. Okay, Oba gets a 6. Willian gets a 6. What more did he say? Then Pepe 7. When he came on, the game changed and he caused so many problems and the tempo changed. Roderick, would you agree?
I would agree with him. I think the only issue I had was when Pepe had that opportunity just to tap the ball in. I think he was struggling to find his foot or his feet there because it was a brilliant pass. I think it was Tierney, if I'm not mistaken. But just after he came on, and for any player or fan, that is a tap in. Whether you blast it, whether you just stick your foot out, it's a goal. And he missed it. And obviously the one VAR this season, I think the referees, I always watch Troops TV, and when they comment based on the VAR decisions being made every week in and out, that was supposed to be a penalty from Pepe when he kicked the ball, and the ball was touching this guy's hand. And the second decision, obviously, that was given a red card. That was the decision wasn't given to give us a penalty, but Pepe was brilliant. He made an impact on the game as well. In a way, I just think Arteta was supposed to start Pepe because Pepe is currently on a high. He's on form. He's giving us goals. He's putting guys in body bags on the wing when he does the step overs and he passes players. He still needs to work on the defensive part of playing, but for me, Pepe was supposed to come on quite early in the second half already because I felt like Xhaxa was already on the yellows and Xhaxa was defending hard as well. If he would have got another yellow, that means we play with 10 men. But yeah, Pepe's performance was brilliant. Just that one big opportunity which he got, which I felt like that was supposed to be 2-1 up already. For me, Aubameyang also, Pepe, I would give a 7, but for Aubameyang also, there was no chances created for him to make those runs that we know of. And we know he's got pure pace. He can beat the defenders. Because all those defenders of Burnley, they remind me of the Stoke City guys. They would just sit there at the back and wait. They're not going to take on strikers. They're going to wait for the striker to go towards them. So, yeah, Aubameyang wasn't getting those opportunities. But, yeah, he's our captain. He's our leader. And, yeah, perhaps the next game, he's going to give us more goals. And I really liked his goal because it was very similar to the goal he scored against Leeds United. When he stepped over and he just hit it to the far post or the near post there, and that was a brilliant goal. I really thought the goalkeeper's going to get a hand to it, which he did, and save it, but it went in. So yeah, for me also 7 to Aubameyang.
Sure, man. Listen, we were actually busy with the substitutes, so that was Pepe. Then we have Lacazette. Before you give me the score, Mr. Gunner Since 69, Brandon, how would you rate Lacazette as a player? Would you think that he's the type of player to take Arsenal forward?
Lacazette is difficult. It's difficult because he's not scoring goals. He doesn't score much goals for you. Yes, he doesn't start. Some games he'll play in Aubameyang. Some games he's on the bench. Some games he'll start number 9. Aubameyang will be left wing. I like Lacazette's work rate. I think he works a lot off the ball. It's fantastic, but he's not scoring enough goals. That's the truth. So whether he's good enough to take you forward, I don't know. I think you'll need to maximize your time that you'll have with Aubameyang. You don't have him for much longer. Look at his age. You don't have 4 years in him. He can't give you another 4 years. Probably another 2. I think max 2. So you'll need to maximize this time that you'll have with Aubameyang and build that team to supply him with goals. And Lacazette's definitely good enough to come off the bench. Definitely. As a squad player, as a striker that's a squad player, fantastic. Fantastic. Like City got Gabriel Jesus, fantastic. But whether you can rely on them for 20 goals, because that's what you need in the league, that's a different question.
Lacazette only turns up on big games. That's what I noticed.
Yeah. Mr. Gunner Since 69, your assessment on Lacazette's performance when he came on that little cameo. And then straight after that, I would like to know what your score is for the manager.
Okay. With Lacazette, the problem with Lacazette is that the fan base are very much split in the type of expectations they have of him. There's 50% of the fan base who think he needs to be scoring 20-25 goals a season. And there's the other half who think, well, this isn't the type of striker that we have at our hands. We very much have a player like Bobby Firmino where he doesn't score as many goals, but he glues the attacking force together and gets everyone involved. Lacazette was bright when he came on. He added depth and he added a lot of creative elements going forward. Like I said, he was probably one of the key players to get Pepe in. He was one of the key players in the last 10 minutes for us to get that last attacking bit of force going forward. I like Lacazette, but I think Lacazette's time is done at Arsenal. I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to cash in on him if we want to get someone who can give us 20-25 goals a season. We know that Aubameyang's got a few seasons left. We need to be thinking ahead and we need to try and get someone who can take over from his reins. But if we're talking about his performance today, Lacazette, I'm going to give him a 6.5. And sorry, just
6.5.
You asked about the manager. I'm just going to quickly talk about the manager. So I am one of Arteta's biggest supporters because when I look at a manager, I focus on a few things. I focus on the style of football that we play. I focus on the problems that we've had previously and whether we have those problems now. And I focus on results. Since Arteta has come in, the problems that we had was creativity going forward. Defensively, we were very, very poor, and we weren't creating enough opportunities on goal. One of Emery's biggest criticisms was that we're facing way too many shots against us, and we're not doing anything to move the ball to the other side. Since Arteta's come in, the defensive problems have somewhat improved. We look a lot more creative. There is a philosophy and idea of playing football at the club now. You can clearly tell what Arteta's ideas are when they're playing football. But having said that, this game, he got it horribly wrong. I need answers. I really need answers after today's game. I need to know who is responsible for that second half shambolic performance. I need to know whose idea it was to start playing long balls from the second half up until the 81st minute or the 80th minute. Because in that last 10 minutes, Arsenal were playing football on the grass. This is how they were taught how to play football. Short passes, pass, move, create space for yourselves, use as much of the pitch as possible, use the flanks, go down, get in across into the box and create a goal-scoring opportunity. This is not the football that I have been watching. But today, the moment they got the ball, either David Luiz or Xhaxa, it was stop. It was very one-dimensional, struggling where to pass, or it was just flinging it over the top, and then Burnley would win it in the air because they're so good in the air, and then they would do the same thing. So I need to know who's responsible, who was responsible for giving that instruction, for playing that style of football, whether it was Arteta or whether it was the players that decided to play like that. But with all things considered, even some of the substitutions for me, like taking off Odegaard, having said that, Pepe came on and changed the game. I'm going to give Arteta a 5. I think it's unfair to judge him right now. I'm going to watch his press conference. I think it's released now, but I'm going to be watching it this evening to see what the game feels like went wrong. When judging based on that, I will make a proper judgment. But like I said, on the game itself, I'm going to give him a 5.
Okay, cool, man. The same as Gunner 69 also, that Gooner Guy also thinks that Arteta should get a 5 because he should have made the substitutes a lot earlier and the reactions again too late. Roderick, your last thoughts on the manager, Mikel Arteta. Is he the one to take Arsenal Football Club forward?
Basically, I would agree what the Gunner Since 69 said, 96 said. I trust the process. I think Arteta can take us over the line in the next couple of seasons. After 2 maybe transfer windows, that is if we have money available to get those players. And Arteta's team selection for me also was a big question mark today, because I was thinking he can actually play the team that played against Leicester City, the same squad, bring the same energy, get some results. Because I mean, playing for the season now, our away games is better than our home games, and this was the type of game where we were supposed to sink Burnley and take the 3 points and move up the top 10. Because there's teams above us, there's Spurs, there's Everton, there's Leicester, not Leicester, but Everton and those mid-table squads. And I think Arteta, he must consider games like this to just put out a nice squad to get 3 points and move up, because we're going to find ourselves again trying to fight for Europa League and trying to get that spot to play in Europa League unless we win Europa League and qualify for Champions League. So he must consider a lot of stuff for the season ahead. And for the next, I think we have 11 games left, if I'm not mistaken, or 10 games left. It's going to take Arsenal 10 out of 10 now forward in order for us to progress to the next stage. So Arteta's got a lot to do, and he worries me by sending out every week a different team, where he must just find that formula where we have a team that is consistent, that can perform on the day. Because I mean, you've seen it with other managers also this season, like with the likes of, sorry Brandon that I have to mention it, with the likes of Ole as well. He rotates his team every single game, and it doesn't work. And at the end of the day, when you think United will beat a team because 1 week they're performing brilliantly and scoring a lot of goals, in the next week Ole throws other players in, and then the game changes. And that is what Arteta is doing for Arsenal fan. It is very frustrating, and we want to get results. We know that in the next couple of weeks we're gonna find ourselves just being at number 10 or number 9, and that's a worrying sign for us as fans, because we want to play Champions League. We want to be in the top 4. So we either need to just get better players around Thomas Partey and Aubameyang, or we can just forget about it and be a mid-table team for the next couple of seasons. So yeah, 5 for me overall for Arteta, and yeah, poor selection.
Okay, cool, man. Just to wrap this all up, guys, great fun with you. Chatting with you. As you can see, it's almost been an hour. The time flies when you're having fun. This question is actually posed for Gunner 96, but Brandon, I think you should answer this, and then we'll wrap up with Gunner 96 assessment on it, and then it's the show is finished. Gunner 96, don't you think by trying to get the defense right, Arteta has sacrificed our attack? I think Arteta has tried to implement too much too soon. What do you think, B?
Okay. Firstly, my opinion on Arteta, I like him a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I watch Arsenal games. It's purely because of Arteta, because I believe in him. He comes from the school of Pep. You can't be a failure if you come from the school of Pep. Pep is one of the greatest of all times. One of the greatest, probably top 2, I'll say, maybe Ferguson because of a bias, number 1. But Pep was great. So if you understudy from Pep, there's no way you don't understand the game of football. And when you listen to Arteta, his press conferences, this guy knows what he's talking about. Whereas when you listen to Oli got no clue what he's talking about. So I like Arteta a lot, but I agree what That Gooner Guy said. I think Arteta is sacrificing his attack because of the defense. Arsenal always had a defensive problem from Arsene Wenger. You all couldn't defend. So I think he's trying to get that right, and because of that, you're not flowing forward. You're not playing full force attack. And I would like to see, I said it on here before, I'd like to see Arteta be more brave and play maybe with 2 number 8s or 2 number 10s, Odegaard and Smith Rowe. I like Smith Rowe, I like Odegaard. Why don't you put them 2 in the midfield and let Thomas Partey do what he does best, just sit there and be a wall that no one's getting past? Yes, that's very attacking, but let's see that. Whereas we play Granit Xhaka next to Partey, and for me, that's negative. Just like Oli plays 2 holding midfielders, Fred, McTominay, that's negative. If you're coming from the school of Pep, let's see attacking football. I don't think you all wouldn't mind if you're playing full force, full throttle attacking football and you're 10th. You can see, okay, yeah, we know where we're going. Just sort out a few issues. The problem is when you bring pragmatic and some games you're defensive, some games you're attacking, and then you're sitting 10th, that can be a problem. Like I know Rodrigo watches Troops. Troops don't like Arteta, you know. So I like Arteta. I think there is a future with Arteta. Get him some better players. And then let's see. It's hard to judge him now because you haven't fully backed him. But I also understand from Arsenal's point of view, you don't have massive amounts of money. And that's why I get on Oli's back and I want him out because we've got all the money in the world and that guy is performing like he performs. As 96 said, that there is a clear style of play. You can see what Arteta wants to do. You can. With Oli, you can't. So I believe in Arteta. Get him the right players, then let's judge him. But sitting at 10 is not good enough. Let's be honest. If you all had any other manager that wasn't playing for Arsenal before, you'd have been sacked. 10th is not good enough.
Thank you, Brandon. That was really insightful because I could see that you do rate Arteta, and you do rate that what he has done in the short period since he's been at Arsenal. We have to agree. The guy's got credit in the bank. Mr. Gunner, since 96, to finish it all up, sir, what is your final thoughts on Arteta?
Arteta is very much the focal point of our season. This season we sit 10th because we have been focusing too much on Arteta. Let me explain a few things about Mikel Arteta and some things that we need to consider. We're talking about an individual who is an amateur. He is a novice. This is his first managerial job. Whether you like it or not, the club have decided to go for someone with no experience, a few years under Pep Guardiola, and that's where we sit. When Mikel Arteta was first announced as the Arsenal manager, in fact, let's go back to before Unai Emery was introduced. When Mikel Arteta was in the conversation about being head coach of Arsenal, as soon as Wenger left, outrage, absolute outrage. And when he took over last season from Freddie, even more outrage. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't understand why Arsenal Football Club were going for an unexperienced manager, someone who's had a few years of Pep Guardiola, someone who's not even considered an Arsenal legend. I would understand if it was a Thierry Henry or a Patrick Vieira, but this guy, why would Arsenal Football Club want to hire someone like Mikel Arteta? I was so upset. And then it started to unravel a little bit. And then we saw the football, and then we saw the first press conference. The first thing that immediately stuck out to me about Mikel Arteta is his communication skills. Simple, clear, concise. He knows what he wants to do. Not many managers are able to reflect or relay what they're trying to get across on the football pitch. He automatically had the problems. The problems are very simple. Arsenal were giving away too many opportunities to the opposition. So what did he do? He played 5 at the back. He played 5 at the back, and he implemented a style of football where Arsenal sit off, let opponents come to us, and we'll hit them on the counter-attack with the type of pace that we've got. We did it in the FA Cup semi-finals, we did it in the FA Cup finals, and we won a trophy. In doing that, we beat Liverpool, we beat Chelsea, we beat Manchester City. clearly I'm seeing something here. This guy is intelligent. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to approach football matches. Against teams like Southampton, when we got knocked out of the FA Cup, but we battered them in the league. Why? Because Arteta realised this is the style of football that they're playing. We're going to play them against their style, see how they like it. We're going to play it better than them, and we're going to beat them. He did that. I think it's really unfair when we try and put all the blame on Arteta. We need to understand one thing. We're sitting 10th today because of the number of mistakes and the number of goals and the number of points we have given ourselves. We have given teams like Burnley today a point.
Yes.
If Granit Xhaka doesn't make that mistake, we don't lose that game. It's as simple as that. If Luiz doesn't get sent off against Wolves, we don't lose that game. It's as simple as that. If we don't concede in the first few minutes against Aston Villa, we don't lose that game. It's as simple as that. The list goes on and on and on. Arsenal Football Club are not sitting 10th right now because of Mikel Arteta. Arsenal Football Club are sitting 10th right now because we're going for a transitional period where Arsenal, the squad, aren't good enough. The players aren't good enough to compete at the level right now. Not to mention COVID. COVID has come into play, and I think everyone's underplaying how big of an impact COVID is having. We're talking about a pandemic right now that has shut down the global economy, the world. You know, these players didn't get a proper pre-season training. They didn't get a holiday. What kind of psychological impact is that going to have on the teams in and around Europe? You know, when you look at the league table right now, you're looking at West Ham sitting 4th. You're looking at teams like Leicester who could potentially be finishing 2nd. We know that Leicester are a good team. We know that West Ham are a good team. But if it was in a normal environment, would teams like West Ham be thriving and be sitting where they are? Maybe, but maybe not. So it's difficult to tell, and it's difficult to just pin the buck on one individual. Arteta, for me, he has all the ability to become as good as Pep Guardiola, because this man understands the beauty of football and he understands how to play the game. It's not about, right, we're going to play a 4-4-2 formation, we're going to put our 2 best strikers up front, and we're going to feed the ball to them and try and get as many goals as possible. The way that my interpretation of football has changed after watching Arteta manage Arsenal. I am now so much more clued up about the game than I have ever been before because of the way that he has changed our football and changed our mindset and the way that we want to play. All of a sudden, it's not Arsenal being scared, sitting off, under pressure. Yes, we've given away mistakes and that have cost us the game, but now we are bullish. We are dominant. We are the team that is not afraid to take the game to the oppositions. So yeah, like I say, I'll just repeat again. I just think it's unfair to blame it on Arteta. I think he's got a long way to go, but in a year's time, next season, I will judge him. After this summer transfer window, if Arteta doesn't get backed by the board, and we can have another whole podcast about this, the board, same again with United, are the main issue. I mean, sitting here and talking about the Arsenal result against Burnley, it's ridiculous for me. It's meaningless because the longer the board is sacked, the longer the ownership refuse to invest in this club, we're going to see this season in, season out. And it's the same with United. The longer they have a stubborn ownership who don't want to focus on getting this football club up into the ranks of the world economy and the world as a global footballing organization, you only need to look at Man City. You only need to look at Man City to see what they have done to a small little club in Manchester. They are now global. They have done everything right. And this is what Arsenal need to do in the summer. If the club do not back Arteta, there is nothing we can do as fans. If the club back Arteta, I will be as critical as anyone else next season because he has to get it right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gunner since 96. A very insightful assessment on Arteta. Guys, I thank you very much for your expertise that you brought to the show. It's really nice chatting to you because I know when I chat to you, I don't necessarily have to listen to Jamie Carragher and Michael Owen and that redneck guy running his mouth. Because I feel, listen guys, to be honest with you, I don't actually listen to them anymore. I just listen to my guys and what my guys has to say about the games because I'm interested in the fan. And we are all fans. We are students of the game. We are players. And I just love the game. Listen, guys, it's been fun. Brandon, thank you very much for joining us. I know we still have to pop on and do our little thing. I just need to check with the other guy quickly. and then I'll get back to you. Roderick, thank you very much for availing yourself, like always, man. You've been a star. Your brains, your knowledge, it's always appreciated on the show. Your diligence, man. I really love it. Mr. Gunner Since 96. I know we are 2 hours apart from each other, but it feels like you are my brother. It feels like we can talk about Arsenal anytime, or football in general. When I feel that I don't know something, I can just press on your button, because I know you have the resources, you have the expertise, and you are our main guy in London. You are situated there, so you are our main guy in London. Thank you very much. Anything last words, guys, from anyone you'd like to say before we end this chat?
I just want to say thank you, guys. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Roderick, go on.
No, I just wanted to say good luck to the Manchester clubs. I know it's going to be a big derby. Hopefully the best team wins. We're going to try and be on the red side of Manchester, because we don't want our record to be broken. We don't want Man City to break our invincible record. So you guys can do us a favor and win them. And yeah, we'll be happy.
Yeah, and
Brandon, anything from you?
No, nothing much. I enjoy. Go again, 96?
Sorry, I was just going to say thank you for having me on the show. It's been really enjoyable. I have to pinch myself sometimes to remind myself that I'm talking to you guys from all the way in South Africa. It's crazy, but this is the beauty of football, and this is what I love more than anything. The fact that us fans can connect. Doesn't matter where we are in the world, we can sit down and we can talk about something that unites us. So thank you very much. And listen, I'll be more than happy to come and talk to you guys anytime again.
It's a pleasure having you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Anything, Brandon? Anything from you before that Gooner guy said? He can definitely agree. Firstly, yes, he should never have been hired. His youth development management has been poor. His team selection has been poor. His game tactic has been poor. Arteta is a contribution. Okay, the last one I had to say: COVID has not affected West Ham, so why Arsenal?
I'll answer that very quickly.
96 has to answer.
I'm going to answer that very quickly. I have to, because this is an argument that's been made a lot. The reason why West Ham haven't been affected and Arsenal have is the same reason why we all sit here with different thoughts and different ideas. Unfortunately, COVID has affected everyone differently. So teams like West Ham, who may, when fans are available in stands, may crumble under pressure, don't have any pressure now. So they're thriving off the fact that they don't have any pressure. But teams like Arsenal, who maybe need fans to push them on, teams like Liverpool, who maybe need their fans to push them on, don't have that available to them. They don't have that 12th man. So teams who normally thrive off pressure don't have that pressure. Whereas West Ham don't have the pressure, but are thriving off it. So it's different. It's even different for different players. We're seeing different players this season that are shining that we haven't seen in previous seasons before. But that's all I have to say, man. I'm sorry. I know I waffled on long enough, but I'm going to keep it there.
No, I really appreciate it. Brandon, your last words, my man.
Thanks for having me, guys, on the Arsenal show. I enjoyed those opinions. Very insightful, very knowledgeable. Roderick, about the derby tomorrow, I can't guarantee you that we're going to help you. I can't guarantee you. Hey, you don't know what you're going to get with Ollie. Ollie can be a world beater on his day. The next day, he looks like a relegation manager, as his CV says. So I can't guarantee you anything. Personally, for me, I think City will win.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Till we chat again. Good luck.
All right.
Cheers. Have a nice evening.